So tell us, brother, what would you have done if somebody had slapped you on a global stage? I mean, we just want to know. What would I have done if somebody slapped me on the global stage? Man, it would have been some violence up in there. And I'm not saying that to be on bad behavior. It would have been some violence up in there. I'd had to lay hands on my man. So tell me, what do you mean? What do you mean by you would have had to lay hands on him? I mean, you don't think the guy did anything wrong? Yeah, I understand. I mean, the man told a bad joke, but that wasn't how you handle that. It's a way to handle that. See, they both young in their wealth, so certain behaviors they have not yet surrendered. You think they're young? I know they in their 50s, but they still young in their wealth, man. That global platform is totally different than when you doing something else. See, that's a whole different game right there. So you can tell a bad joke and a person may be in their feelings and usually laugh it off or walk it off. But see, when you carrying certain emotions, that's kind of hard, especially considering some of the other emotions, variables involved. It'll get you in trouble. Well, so you don't think dude was wrong by telling a joke like that to humiliate a man's wife as well as himself? I don't get into who right and who wrong, because one person told a bad joke, the other person was in their feelings. It wasn't the time for neither one of them, even though people can say that a comedian's job is to clown people in the front row, et cetera, et cetera. However, there's a line you don't cross when it comes to people, family, wives, children, et cetera, especially in public. That humility, see, even though there's some truth in comedy, so there's usually laughter that comes with it, not humility. Isn't that part of the program? You see. Yeah. You're right, it's all part of the program. But everybody ain't ready to play. Like the wise man used to say, playing to get you hurt at the wrong time. So you saying the Chris was playing a grown man game at the wrong time. Well, here's how I feel about it. Looking at it from a realistic perspective. As an African-American male, I don't think it's a reflection on the collective, because when you look at the atrocities of history, when you look at the continent of Africa and how every day it's being stripped of resources, and they got history of genocide and oppression, imperialism, disease, Ebola, AIDS, et cetera, et cetera. Some of these things still going on. Economic development, all of the things that we suffer as people of African descent. Now, when you come up to slavery and you look at what we suffer as people, say for the last 300-400 years, and some of the atrocities of that, and even what goes on in urban areas with a lot of this brutality and other things that take place, whether it's self-inflicted or inflicted by external forces. You telling me that with all that we endure, when a comedian tell a bad joke or a man get up and slap him, oh, that's really crossing the line. I mean, what is all this other stuff that's been happening to people as individuals and as a collective, to the point that we're gonna get all this dialogue and not think about a history of atrocities. You hit the button and you hit it, man. So if it's anybody that need to be slapped, we need to be slapping people as far as some of those atrocities. That was the time to slap somebody when all that was happening. That was the time to take a stand, because getting your feelings crossed a specific border. You've crossed a specific line. But a comedian telling a bad joke, I mean, that's really detrimental to my liberation. A man slapping somebody at the Oscars. Oh, that's the most terrible thing that could happen in the world, huh? I mean, if I put that up against slavery, where's our mind?
Yeah, I get you, man. I
know you get my point. Yeah. But here's the deal. I got to saying, bro, I'm not trying to wake people up. I'm trying to keep people from putting me back to sleep. See, you in snoring mode when you think that a bad joke has some equate with the atrocities of slavery or the African American experience.
Yeah.
Or the atrocities of the history of genocide on the continent of Africa, or the stripping of his resources, and all of the other things relative to my African descent. So, crossing the line in that sense, no, that don't do nothing for me. That's just a situation like that happened between two individuals.
That's crossing the line
on a global stage.
This here.
And they just was out of order that particular night. My man told a bad joke and the other guy was in his feelings. And in both cases, one man was totally humiliated and the other man lost as far as finances, business, reputation, etc. But as a collective, as say people of African American descent, I think there's more serious issues that can be dealt with.
Man, you hitting it. Yeah. Hey man, I appreciate you, bro. You hit on some real good points here.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you agree. And, you know, I said I won't come in and talk too much, and I appreciate you.
Thanks for coming, man. Hey, so y'all heard it right here.
Hey, I'm Dan Land Pro.
You see, we have Dan Land Pro here, and he laid it on the line as far as what really went down. Like he said, man, the one thing that he said that I appreciate is that you can't equate a slap or a bad joke with, say, the atrocities of slavery or some of the things that goes on the continent of Africa and some of the history behind oppression, genocide, imperialism, etc. So if we're gonna get in our feelings, that would be more, less, few of the things that we should be having dialogue about, opposed to a slap or a bad joke. That's not a liberating moment. That's just a moment. There's more serious things that we could be devoting this time to. Hey, I want to thank Dan Land Pro for coming by, and you know I'm the man, the interviewer. Hey, always doing something innovative, trying out something new, and this was just the animated interview. Hey, peace.